beautiful people of the internet. How are you doing today? It is Jackie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this video was not exactly planned, hence why it is being filmed in my dorm room with this really crappy lighting. But last night when I was watching the Big Brother 20 season finale, I had a lot of feelings. And to be completely honest, when I finished watching the episode, I was really pissed off. But now that I've had time to process it, I don't think I'm as angry anymore, but I do still have some things about this season that I want to say. And there are certain ways that I think the Big Brother game needs to change. I'm not saying I actually expect them to implement these changes I'm asking for, but I think it would really make the game fairer moving forward if they would revert some formats. So obviously, spoilers if you are living under a rock and you have not watched the Big Brother season 20 finale yet, but Casey became the winner of this season, defeating Tyler in a vote of 5-4. It was very, very close. Casey won part 3 of the final HOH comp against Tyler, and she decided she was going to evict JC, which actually a lot of people thought was going to be a mistake. They thought it was going to be her basically pulling a Cody. As you know, Cody chose to evict Victoria over Derek back in season 16, even though he could have easily beaten Victoria and he was definitely going to lose to Derek. However, Casey did still end up winning the jury votes. However, it was very, very close, and to be honest, I did not know who was going to win up until the very end. I definitely thought there was a strong chance that Casey could win because I think the jurors didn't feel as bitter towards her as they felt towards Tyler, and Casey had a very good social game where she was able to befriend everyone and there really were no ill feelings towards her. However, strategically, Tyler played a far superior game, and he has been my favorite house guest all season. I really wanted Tyler to win, so I was very, very disappointed when he lost, especially by such a small margin, and I really do think that he was the deserving winner. Had Casey been sitting next to anyone else in the final two other than Tyler, I would have no doubt said that Casey deserved to win. However, Tyler is the person who outplayed her this season. Likewise, I think had Tyler been sitting next to anyone but Casey in the final two, he would have easily won. I personally really thought that Tyler should take Brett, Angela, or maybe even Sam to the final two, so when he said he intended to honor his final two with Casey, I thought that was potentially a $450,000 decision, and it seems that I was right about that. I do think Casey was the only person in the entire cast who could have beaten Tyler, and she did. I do think that Tyler made some mistakes in his final speeches. I definitely think his speech was better than Casey's. Casey's speech to me was very, very repetitive. She just kept bringing up the social game and how she was friends with everyone. She couldn't really list a big move that she made this summer. However, like I said, I do think there were some aspects that may have cost Tyler. First of all, I think his apology to Bailey, while I did really like that he made an effort to personally apologize to her, I think he could have done it a little bit better. Basically, when he said that he intentionally made an enemy out of Bailey so that there would be an enemy in the jury and someone would still take him, I didn't really buy that. I think it would have been better to just say to Bailey, you know, you were a very strong competitor in the house. I knew you had this power app that was never going to be used to benefit me, and that's why I voted you out. Just know that I respected you and I think you were a great competitor. I really liked Tyler's goodbye message to Bailey because you could see that she was genuinely happy to get that compliment from Tyler where he said that he thought she was a strong player. And I think that would have been a better strategy to get her vote. Now, had he actually done that, would he have gotten Bailey's vote? Probably not. I don't know if he could have convinced her at that point, but I just think that would have been a more effective strategy than what he actually did. That being said, I don't really think that these feelings that Bailey feels towards Tyler are completely warranted. In the jury roundtable, she sort of kind of implied that Tyler is a little bit evil by saying that some of the best Big Brother players are evil. Sidebar, my favorite moment of the whole finale was when Bailey said that and Dr. Will looked directly into the camera and smiled. That was fantastic. I've also seen on Twitter, and I just want to address this really quickly, that people have been accusing Tyler of being racist towards Bailey, and I don't think that was the case at all. I don't think Tyler ever went after Bailey personally. I think it was purely strategy, and while I would say that there are some people in the Level 6 Alliance who I am not fans of because I think they might be a little bit hateful, Tyler is not one of those people. Tyler and Casey, I think, were the nicest people in the Level 6 Alliance, and I don't think either of them really personally attacked anyone. I think all of Tyler's moves were strategic, so I do think Bailey is a little unnecessarily bitter towards him, and I think she owes him an apology considering how she yelled at him. I understand that was a very difficult situation for her. However, her reaction was not warranted, and you should never talk to someone the way that Bailey spoke to Tyler. Harsh words were exchanged on both sides, and I think they both owe each other an apology, but to say that Tyler singled Bailey out or that he was racist towards her is, in my opinion, completely untrue. Apparently, Tyler's mom made some social media comments that didn't sit well with people, but that doesn't mean that he has those same views. I know that I don't agree with all of my family's political views, however, they're still my family, and obviously we're going to support each other. Bailey's sister also made some questionable comments on social media, which no one really seems to bring up. I don't know if other people have seen this, but apparently her sister believes that you can turn gay people straight and that being gay is unnatural. So just because someone's relative believes something doesn't mean they personally believe it, and I think the person's actions should show who they are and not you making assumptions about their character based on other people's behavior. Oh, and I also just remembered that Bailey made a very questionable comment about Fessy, which was Islamophobic, basically saying, well, Fessy's gonna go to the Middle East to find a nice submissive bride because that's what they do. They being Muslims, obviously, and that comment did not sit right with me, but I don't think really anyone has talked about her saying that, and I just don't think it's fair to say that Tyler is racist when I don't think he ever said anything racially insensitive towards Bailey, and he never insulted her character or went after her on a personal level. Now, if there is some comment that he made on the live feeds that I did not see, you guys can tell me, but I have seen nothing to indicate that he has any racial prejudices against her. But now I'm going on a tangent, so we're gonna go back to the possible mistakes that Tyler made in his speech. A lot of people have said that Tyler could have done more to mend his relationship with Sam and possibly get her vote. I do think that Sam probably would have still voted for Casey anyway, because in her backyard interview with Ross Matthews and Marissa Jarrett Winokur, she said that she always knew she was going to give Casey the money because she was going to give Casey her vote because she thought that Casey deserved the money more. She knew about Casey's background and her family, and she thought they really needed the money, and so that's why she wanted to reward Casey with that money. And she also said that she probably would have voted for JC over Tyler because, again, she thought that JC needed the money more. So even if Tyler had appealed to her personally, I don't know if she would have changed her vote. She seemed pretty dead set on voting for Casey. Sam was definitely a highly emotional player. That being said, could Tyler have told Sam some things before she was evicted? Yes, because I think when she got to the jury thinking that Tyler had been largely loyal to her and found out about all these final 2 deals, I think that did hurt her, and I think that did make her bitter towards Tyler. Now, had he managed Sam better, jury managed Sam better, would he have gotten her vote? I think it's still highly unlikely that he would have gotten her vote, but there's still more that he could have tried. When I was watching the jury questions, I thought to myself that Tyler definitely lost Scotty's vote because he said to Bailey the reason why he was going around saying that he felt closest to Scotty and he trusted Scotty the most was that if someone decided to target Tyler and Tyler had to use his Cloud Power app, then he wanted that person to then go after Scotty instead of another member of Level 6, basically to throw them off his trail. I thought that definitely lost him Scotty's vote because he was basically saying, that he was going to throw Scotty under the bus if he had to. However, Scotty said in his backyard interview that he actually was thinking all day that he was going to vote for Tyler, and what actually changed his mind was not the jury questions, but was Casey winning the final HOH competition, which made him decide that she was the worthy winner. So, had Tyler not said that to Bailey, he probably still wouldn't have gotten Scotty's vote. It seems what really cost Tyler the game was that he was bad at math in the tiebreaker. Honestly, we will never know if Tyler would have been able to sway their votes with more time. It was definitely very close, and I think had he won that final HOH over Casey, then he would have gotten Scotty's vote and he would have won the whole game. But obviously, you know, things played out the way they played out, and we'll never know the what ifs. Now, I do not begrudge Casey her win because I actually really like Casey. I think out of all the house guests, she was one of the most genuine people in there this summer, and I am truly happy for her. You could see how much this meant to her when she won, how much it means to her family, and it's really nice to see a good person have good things happen to them. However, I am worried about how jury votes like this are going to affect the game moving forward. In Big Brother 18 and Big Brother 19, I thought that Paul deserved to win both of those seasons. Now, based on his personality, Paul's not one of my favorite people. However, his game, especially in Big Brother 19, was better than everybody else's, and I think he deserved to win. However, the bitterness the jury felt cost him the game. I also think with Celebrity Big Brother, Ross deserved to win over Marissa. However, people voted for Marissa because they felt embittered towards Ross, and also the girls just really wanted to see a female win that season, so they were going to vote for the female in the final two, even if the male played a better game. And what concerns me about jury decisions like this is that I worry future contestants are going to be scared to get blood on their hands and actually play the game. Dan Giesling, who is my favorite Big Brother player of all time, up there with Dr. Will and Derek as my favorite players, said on his Twitter that he thinks the Machiavellian style gameplay as we knew it is probably dead now. In the future, house guests coming into Big Brother are going to look back on these past seasons and say, you know, I could play like a Paul, I could play like a Ross, I could play like a Tyler, I could run this whole game, but if people don't like me backstabbing them, they won't vote for me. So I have a better chance at winning if I am nice to everyone and I stay true to my word and I'm loyal. It makes me sad to think that in the future we won't see players like Dan or Dr. Will or even Derek who are these really great masterminds, because those are my favorite type of players in Big Brother. Tyler had my favorite gameplay this season by far. However, he didn't win just because the jury preferred Casey's honesty and they didn't want to vote for Tyler just because they thought Casey was the nicest person. I don't think that should be how you decide who wins the game. I want to see people make big moves, and Casey didn't really make big moves this season. I do think her strategy was fine, but Tyler was just a much more strategic player, and he still won a lot of things, even though Casey did win more. I think there are ways that Big Brother could change their current format to ensure that players who are more strategic and manipulative can properly explain their gameplay. First of all, I was so frustrated by how little time Tyler and Casey were given to actually answer the jury's question, and you cannot give someone only 45 seconds to explain 99 days of gameplay. It is just impossible. There is no way you can break down your entire strategy in such a short amount of time. I would like it if they went back to the old jury questions format, where that was pre-recorded so that the house guests in the final two could take as much time as they needed to explain their strategy, and then the jurors could have some time to think about their decision and not vote rashly. I think this would be so much better and so much more fair, because you can't expect someone to explain every single decision they made in the game on such short notice. I also would like to see CBS not recruiting so many house guests off of platforms like Instagram. I want to see house guests who actually know this game, who know how it's played, and who admire players like Dan or Dr. Will or people like that. I want to see someone who has an appreciation for this game and is going to vote for the person who they honestly think played the game the best. Because someone who is a recruit is more likely to vote emotionally or based off their personal feelings, and that's not something I want to see. However, I doubt that Big Brother casting is going to start picking only super fans to play the game, so I don't expect them to actually fulfill this request, but I just think that it would be more fair if they picked people who actually have a love for the game. Ultimately, in the future, I think people are going to play a much more cautious game now, and I think if we do see another player who is in the same vein as Dan or Dr. Will, someone who is a mastermind and a backstabber and has a lot of blood on their hands, the only way they can win is if they bring someone to the final two who is either more hated than they are, or who is just a bad player, someone like Victoria from BB16 who just can't win comps and who the jury doesn't respect. And I definitely think we are never going to see a 9-0 vote like we saw in Dan's first season. I don't think people are going to vote like that anymore. I mean, back in season 10, Jerry still voted for Dan, even though he had previously called Dan Judas, and I don't think a modern Big Brother jury would make the same decision. If we do see more players who are more ruthless and more masterminds, I think they won't be able to get such a clean sweep of the jury in the future, and that if they want to win, they're going to have to drag someone to the end who just has no chance of winning. If they are up against anyone who played remotely well, they'll probably lose. Now, moving on to other topics from the finale, I have mixed feelings about America's Favorite Player. Tyler was definitely my favorite player all season, like I said, and I could see that winning America's Favorite Player genuinely touched him. When Julie was signing off and Casey was crying from joy and Tyler was crying from joy, that really did make me happy because I genuinely like both of them, even if I think Tyler was the better player. So I'm happy that they are both happy with the result. However, I tend to prefer where someone outside of the final two wins America's Favorite Player, because then we have 3 deserving players winning money instead of just 2. I personally voted for Haley as America's Favorite Player. She was up there among my favorite players this season with Tyler and Casey. I just think even though she did make a mistake revealing that she was the hacker, she seemed like a genuine person and I really enjoyed watching her, even though she was a part of possibly the worst alliance in the history of Big Brother. I really liked Haley, and so I would have liked to see her rewarded as well, though I can't begrudge Tyler America's Favorite Player because he was my favorite player this season. I just think I would rather see 3 people win money instead of just 2. Also, I don't know how Brett was in the top 3 for America's Favorite Player because, yeah, he was funny, but he was also a total jerk, and I did not like him at all, and I would never vote for him as America's Favorite Player. Now, I think we should briefly mention the showmances for this season. On the finale, Swaggy C proposed marriage to Bailey, and that took up so much airtime. Julie was practically racing through reading the votes because Swaggy was proposing at literally 10:52 p.m. And while I definitely have no ill will towards Bailey and Swaggy, I just don't know how you can get engaged to someone who you have only spent 23 days with. They spent 23 days together and then 76 days apart. I don't think you can be ready to marry someone after less than a month of knowing them. Also, there is this rumor out there that Bailey might be pregnant, and I'm inclined to think that it is true because in their backyard interview, they were asked about if they were going to start a family, and Bailey said, "We're not allowed to talk about that." Whereas I think if she wasn't pregnant, she would have just said, "Oh yeah, in the future." If she wasn't pregnant, why would she say, "Oh, we're not going to talk about that"? So I have no ill will towards them. I would love it if their relationship works out and they get married and they have kids and it's happily ever after. I genuinely would like to see that. I just don't think after spending 23 days with someone, you can be ready to marry them and have a child with them. Because that definitely puts a strain on your relationship having a baby, and I don't think someone who has known their partner for less than a month is ready for that step in their relationship. I also don't know if I can really see Haley and Fessy or Tyler and Angela working out in the long run. I do think it's good they're not going full speed ahead like Bailey and Swaggy because, like I said, I just don't think you can be ready for that step in your relationship so soon. I mean, Fessy and Haley spent 70-something days together and they're dating, seeing where it goes. Tyler and Angela spent 90 93, something like that, 90 plus days together, and they're dating, probably gonna move in together, seeing where it goes. So that's probably better than getting engaged to someone you've known for not even an entire summer, but I just don't know if I can see these two showmances being a long-term relationship. With Haley and Fessy, I don't have a specific reason. I just feel like they'll probably date for a while, but it's not gonna be a long-term marriage and kids sort of thing. And with Tyler and Angela, I think Tyler seems to genuinely care about Angela. He says he's in love with her. And while Angela says that she's in love with him too, she actually told him first. I'm not the biggest fan of Angela. To me, she came across on the show as a mean girl and kind of a bully. So I don't know what her motivations are. I was a little skeptical at first. There are moments where I think maybe she really does love Tyler, such as, her exit from the show, or when she said that Tyler makes her a better person in her backyard interview. That gave me some hope for their relationship, but I'm still not a huge fan of Angela, and I think I'm gonna need time to sort of see what she's like in real life, to see more of her as a person. Right now, I'm inclined to say I think Tyler is more into her than she is into him, but same thing with Fessy and Haley and Tyler and Angela that I said about Bailey and Swaggy. I would love to be proven wrong. I would absolutely love it if all three of these showmances work out in the long term and we get Big Brother marriages and Big Brother babies. I would love that because I'm a romantic and I would love to see everyone get a happy ending. I am just not convinced that any of these showmances are going to really stand the test of time. I think all of them will probably last for a little while and then inevitably break up. But I'd love to be wrong. I will say the one thing about Swaggy's proposal that I really appreciate is that it meant I did not have to hear Caitlyn talk. I have to say she was probably my least favorite house sketch this entire summer. Well, maybe I don't like JC more because even though he got a good edit on the show, he's so problematic, but that's another thing. I just think even though Caitlyn made good television, she seems, to me, kind of delusional. There was a Hollywood Reporter, I believe, interview before the finale with the pre-jurors, and Caitlyn said that she didn't want Tyler to win because Tyler made her think that he was in love with her, and I just want to know how Caitlyn thought that he was doing that, because it's not like he ever kissed Caitlyn or did anything romantically with Caitlyn. He was getting close to her to manipulate her, but how in her mind she would think that Tyler was in love with her, I have no idea. Also, I just think Caitlyn's behavior this season was so inappropriate. I don't want to slut shame her, but she should not have been flirting with guys like Tyler and Fessy and Brett when she had a boyfriend in the real world, because cheating is not okay. Also, I only just found out there are apparently some things going on the live feeds with Caitlyn and Brett that I don't want to talk about because it makes me really uncomfortable. So I just think Caitlyn is kind of delusional. Also, I recently found out that apparently she sort of used Tyler's dead father against him. I don't know exactly what it was she said, but what I understand from what I saw on Twitter is basically she said that since she's connected to the spirit world, Tyler's father was talking to her and that he wanted Tyler to stay with Caitlyn. And so, if Tyler backstabbed her, then he was going against his dead father's wishes. And I just think if that's really what she said, that is totally inexcusable. To use the memory of someone's deceased father to advance yourself in a game is just not okay at all. And if you do that, you're a bad person in my book. I don't know. Maybe Caitlyn is so delusional that she actually believes Tyler's dead father was speaking to her. I don't know. At this point, I really have no interest in following Caitlyn after this season, and I hope that I never see her on Big Brother again, because I just think she's kind of crazy, to be completely honest. And so I'm glad that I didn't have to listen to her spew whatever it was she was going to spew on the finale. So thank you, Swaggy, for taking up the rest of the jurors' time so I didn't have to hear that girl talk. But, at the end of the day, even though I thought Tyler deserved to win, I'm not going to lose any sleep over this. And I think they're both happy with how the show ended up. I don't think Tyler seems that upset about losing. I think he's happy with his performance. He did what he could, and you know, he is walking away with $75K, which is more than most people make in a single summer, and will definitely help him. And Casey, like I said, is just such a genuine and nice person, so it's nice to see this good thing come her way because she deserves it. So ultimately, you know, even though I think Tyler deserved to win, I'm not mad at this ending. I just think, you know, the show could change some things to help the game going forward, and I hope that we won't see the death of strategic gameplay in the future, because that's what I tune into Big Brother to see. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments, do you agree with me? Do you think Tyler should have won, or do you think Casey played the better game? Do you have any opinions that you agree with me on, or things that differ from what I said? Let me know in the comments. I would like to hear your thoughts. Are there any points that I forgot to mention? You can leave those in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye! See you soon.